Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Cecilia Sabajan. I am the Database Information Specialist at Travel Oregon. We are here today to learn about the local fundamentals for you and your businesses as tour operators, guides, charters, and outfitter businesses. So it is my privilege today to introduce our presenter, Alexa Darrow with Locl. She is the Director of Customer Success, and she's going to present to us today. Thanks for being here, Alexa.
Thank you, Cecilia. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. As Cecilia mentioned, my name's Alexa. I am Locl's Director of Customer Success. I have been at this company for about 4 years now, but I come from a background in public relations and hospitality. So I used to work for an agency here in Portland that specialized in tourism and restaurants and hotels, et cetera. And additionally, originally from the East Coast, and also did PR in a similar field over there. So I'm always really excited when we have these webinars, and also to be working with the folks over at Travel Oregon and all of you and the businesses here, because tourism and hospitality is a passion of mine. I've been in Portland for about 8 years, and I've spent a lot of time exploring the state at this point. And try to get out there as much as possible. Haven't taken a ton of tours per se, but hopefully I have a list of attendees, and I can look into each of you a little bit further and hopefully add it to my list. So, when summer hits, as it is soon, thank gosh, that I will be able to get out there and explore a little bit more. So thanks for being here. I wanted to just give you a quick overview of what we will be doing today together. So I'm going to run through a quick presentation, basically explaining the importance of Google and search, just talking a little bit about why we're here, why it's important. And then I'm also going to just tell you a little bit about what we do here at Locl. I know this will probably come up later, but just to real quickly say it, this is a free partnership for you, thanks to our partners at Travel Oregon. So everything that you're seeing today in terms of our platform, you'll be able to sign up if you haven't already done so, and actually register for free and use our software. So hopefully you'll walk away with some helpful hints and information about what you should be doing and why you should be doing it. And as always, I'm available for questions after I've done my presentation on this webinar today, but also moving forward, if you have issues signing up or have any questions after the fact, once you sign up for Locl, you're welcome to reach out to me or Cecilia, and we can help you. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I'll also be shutting my camera off eventually when I get into the demo portion, just to make sure there are no technical difficulties. So if anyone has any issues or questions during, feel free to pop anything in the chat. I know Cecilia is monitoring everything there. So 90% of internet searches happen in Google. Everyone here is probably very familiar with Google. It has become a part of our daily lives, especially when we're traveling. Nearly half of these searches are local in nature, meaning that somebody nearby is looking for things in that area. So this visitor interaction is probably pretty familiar to all of you. So if you think about if you are in a new city, or even if you're just in the town that you live in and you're looking for something specific. So for example, best ice cream or ice cream near me. What you'll do is you'll pull out your cell phone. At this point, most of us have smartphones. You type in best ice cream, you see what's available in your area. You look at the options, you look at the photos, you see the reviews. And then you make a decision on where you want to go based on what looks appealing to you. So after you decide which one, generally you click on the listing and you click that direction button or contact button. So trying to figure out how to get where you want to go. And then eventually you go, you visit the place, you buy the ice cream. Again, this has become very commonplace in our society, in our daily lives. And it is just an incredibly important process when a visitor is making a choice about where they want to be going. So a Google search comes in many different forms, as you are probably familiar with. You have your Google desktop search, you have your mobile search, you have the actual maps view and map search. There's all different ways that you can search for a business or search for a category or a keyword to find what you're looking for. So the way that a maps listing or a business location is managed is through a thing called Google Business Profile. So if you're not familiar with Google Business Profile, this is actually the largest source of organic search exposure for businesses online. So essentially, Google Business Profile is what populates a Google Maps listing or a Google location, and it's a top driver for zero-click searches. So something to keep in mind when we're thinking about Google Maps, just Google in general, is that you want your Maps listing for your business to be up to date, accurate, and compelling. So you're 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable when you have an accurate listing. You're also 70% more likely to attract location visits. So for someone to actually find you and then click on that direction button to come see you in real life, or make a purchase through, if you have a web shop. And then 50% more likely to lead to a purchase if you have an accurate and compelling listing. So thinking about things like photos that are appealing, up-to-date business hours, et cetera. And I'm going to go back to that more in detail in a bit. So there are a few things that you can do to improve your listings. There's some easy wins, like as we like to say. So first and foremost, claiming your Google business listing. If you are claimed and verified, then you're going to show up more accurately on the map, and you're also able to control the information on there as well. Something to note too is that in order to use Locl, our software platform, you have to have a verified listing. And we have information on how to actually do that if you're not currently claimed and verified in this slideshow that we'll be sending to you after the fact. So you can visit that, and also there'll be other opportunities to ask questions about that to Cecilia later on. Additionally, adding missing information that's not currently on there is going to be important. So let's say you currently don't have a business description or hours of operation. And speaking of descriptions, you're going to want to create a description that describes who you are as a business. So think of this as like an about section or a boilerplate, using very specific keywords to let people know exactly what you do, who you are. It could even include when you're open, updating your photos to look nice, and then also making sure you're engaging with your customers via the review section. So Google Business Profile, again, is how Google Maps is controlled through Google. So if you have a Google account and it's linked to your business, then you have a Google Business Profile. And this is where, generally speaking, you're probably already updating some of this information that we just talked about. However, if you don't know, or if you do know, Google can get a little bit challenging, Google Business Profile specifically. So it can get overwhelming because it gives you a lot of things in here that aren't totally necessary to be doing all of the time. It's also a little tricky if you have multiple locations that you're managing. So let's say you're a business owner and you have 3 tour companies that you're operating currently. It's a little tricky to manage all of this information inside of Google because you can't switch between your business listings easily. And that's, it's frustrating. The insights here are limited, so they'll show you about 6 months worth of Maps traffic data, which is fine, but it's not great. And then additionally, Google Business Profile isn't connected to other channels. So what this means is, you can connect it to social media channels. You can't make updates anywhere else. It's strictly just updates to Google. So the missing layer here is us, it's local. And that's why we're here today. So basically, Locl is a platform that gives you access to expanded features to help keep your Google Maps listing up to date and optimized. It's super user-friendly. We make it really easy for people to use. It saves you time with tools like schedulers, so you can schedule photos and posts in advance, so you don't have to worry about being in there every day and trying to figure out what you should be doing and when. We actually tell you what to do and when you should be doing it. And additionally, as opposed to Google, who it's really challenging to get into contact with, especially if you're having technical support issues, we at Locl have a customer service team and support team and are readily available to help you with any sort of issues or tech issues you're having inside of your Locl account. So a couple of the differentiators that I want to point out, and we'll be going through a lot of this inside of the actual demo part of this, but inside of Locl, you can manage all of your Google Maps listings in a single hub. So what that means is, as I mentioned before, if you have 3 businesses that you're managing here in Oregon, you can pull all of those locations into your Locl account and manage everything from there, in addition to pushing out updates like photos, like business hours, if they're the same across the board, to all of them at one time. So no more switching between tabs inside of Google Business Profile. You can also monitor your business performance more easily, and as opposed to Google, where you can only see that 6 months worth of data, you can actually see 18+ months of analytics, which means that you're getting better like year-over-year comparisons. You're able to see your business info in aggregate. You can also engage with customer reviews. You can create offer posts, event posts, etc., and promote events. And then additionally, something to mention is that we're also connected to Travel Oregon's listing database, Otis. So anytime you're updating your information or updating a post inside of Locl, it's automatically being pushed to Travel Oregon's database as well, which is huge. Additionally, we are really excited because recently we've expanded our partnership to provide you with full access to Locl's Plus Reach subscription for free. So as part of you signing up, you have the option to opt in to Plus Reach, which means that you'll be able to sync your business details like your name, business hours, phone number, etc., across 75+ other online directories like Google or Apple Maps, like Bing, Facebook, and this is all in one place for every one of your locations. So you don't have to do any additional work. If you go in and you're saving information anyway to publish on Google, it's automatically going to push this out to the other directories as well if you opt into it. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch my screen real quick. I'm going to turn off my video and I'm going to just go through a quick demo here. So once you have a claimed and verified listing, you can get started using Locl. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to locl.io/Travel Oregon to get started. And this will be in a follow-up email to all of you. It's also going to be in the slides that we send out to you. So don't worry about it if you forget what this website is. But basically, this is going to be where you're going to sign up. So once you're here, you'll be able to see a little bit more information about Locl, about what you can do here. And you'll be able to click this Get Started button. And once that happens, it's just going to ask you a couple of questions: name, business name, email address, and then it's going to have you connect your Google business account. So right off the bat, once you have, let me backtrack for a second. So I'm actually using a demo account from another Travel Portland user. We work with Travel Portland as well as Travel Oregon. So I wanted to give you just an example of what an account looks like once it's populated, it's being used often, just so you have a better understanding and it's not blank. So feel free to ignore this part. But Once you sign up, it will automatically prompt you to connect to your Google business profile. But if you don't do it right away, you can come back and do it. And you're going to find that over here and manage locations. So you can connect one of these accounts or multiple accounts. And basically that's going to pull in the information from your Google business profile to be able to start managing. Something else I wanted to point out is you're also going to see an onboarding page when you're newly signed up. So it's going to, again, ask to connect to your account. And then it's going to walk you through a couple of other things as well. So it's going to ask if you want to turn on or enable a profile lock. So basically what this means is you can suppress unwanted edits to your listing with this profile lock. So you might not know this, but people on Google, just public users, can actually go in and make updates to your listing without any sort of like approval. So if sometimes you'll see like hours have been changed on your listing and you didn't do it, it's because somebody else has done it. So basically, once you enable this, this is going to prevent any discrepancies, and basically we'll publish updates to ensure that your original information that you've published remains accurate. So this is going to become the source of truth. Additionally, it's going to ask if you want to separate your listings and maps traffic. So you'll be surprised at how much more traffic is actually coming from Google business profile than your other social properties like Facebook, like Yelp, etc. But typically this is lumped in with Google Organic inside of Google Analytics by default. So basically with Locl, you can actually automatically separate your maps traffic using custom tagging on your website URL on Google to be able to monitor this maps traffic. So I'd highly recommend turning that on as well. So once these basic things are done during your onboarding process, you'll want to make sure that your listing is as up to date and accurate as possible. So first of all, I'd recommend heading over to this manage location section. You can do a lot of things here, but to start, I would make sure that your business name is correct. So this seems really obvious, but you might not always be showing up on Google or elsewhere by your proper name. So definitely make sure that this is correct. You would be surprised by how many people have like typos in their name, or maybe it's an old business name. So you want to do this first. After that, I would recommend updating and confirming your business hours. So this is one of the simplest yet most important ways to stay connected to your customers. Making sure your hours are up to date is how people will know if you're open or if you're closed for business, especially after the last couple of years with changes in hours because of COVID. If your hours are inaccurate, you could risk booking a tour, losing a sale. So just go in here and make sure that all of this looks good to you. Oops. Additionally, you want to check on your business categories. So we rarely run into a business who has categories set correctly. Categories are what help inform both people and potential customers, as well as search engines, about the type of business you're managing. So Google actually allows you to set both a primary category, which is tour operator, which this should resonate with most of you here. And this is probably going to be what you're setting if you haven't already. So make sure this is set. And then additionally, it allows you to update secondary categories. And you can pick up to 9 more of these to help optimize your listing and basically cast a wider net in search. So the primary category you select on a Google My Business or Google Business Profile listing is important, as this is what people are going to actually see on maps. But these additional categories are going to help when people are searching for other things that aren't necessarily your primary category. So these won't show up, but this is going to just help if, let's say, this is a helicopter tour company here. So they've picked a bunch of different categories that relate. And thinking about how people might search for you outside of your main category or primary category is just really important and will help you show up in more searches, which is really what the goal here is. Inside of this manage location section, you can also update that business description I was talking about. So again, making sure that you're talking about, the area that you're serving, what kind of tour company you are, exactly what you do, and any other information that might be helpful for people to know about, but also again, for search, you just want to make sure that this is up to date. There's also a section in Manage Locations for attributes and services. So this is how people know what you're offering in addition to that category. So these days, it's especially important, especially with like health and safety precautions in place still, or if you want to get very specific about if you're LGBTQ plus friendly, if you're wheelchair accessible, and then it will also populate with the services based on your categories. So by completing just a few of these tasks inside of this Manage Location section first of your local account, you'll be on your way to appearing in more search results, and then turning those searches into sales, hopefully. So once these basic things are done and updated, you should start thinking about performance-specific optimizations, such as photos, posts, and reviews. So as I mentioned earlier, having compelling photos of your listing and of your business makes all the difference. With Locl, you're actually able to upload and schedule batch photos and videos out in advance to either a single location or multiple locations at once. So as you can see here, we have a whole bank of photos that have been uploaded by this user. When you're thinking about photos, think about things like, shots of your team, shots on the actual tours themselves with either people or with, the guides, really nice views of the outdoors or whatever you're touring. You can even be like exterior shots of your primary business location. So photos, just as like a hot tip, listings with 100+ owner submitted photos, meaning photos that you upload yourself to your Maps listing, get 20 times more views than a listing without that many photos. So I'm not saying everyone needs to create an account today and upload 100 photos right now, but that's just something to keep in mind as a goal that you want to work on. Photos are huge in terms of search. Not only is it helpful for people that are looking for what they want to be doing or purchasing, but additionally, Google's AI functionality has come really far, and they can actually identify keywords that will help with search just by a photo. So for instance, this one is, there's a mountain here. So they'll pull these words in like mountain, snow, helicopter view, etc. That will then help with the overall searches. So just keeping that in mind as well. And it's really easy to upload. So there's just this add collection button here, and it will walk you through steps of browsing your photos on your desktop, uploading them, and then you'll see the scheduler tool that will allow you to pick whether you want to publish them right now or sometime in the future. Oops. So I mentioned Google Posts earlier, and I don't know how familiar everybody is with Google Posts, but basically a post is like free advertising on your Maps listing that's going to help with optimization and search ranking. So Google Posts are pretty similar to social media posts, like you see on Facebook or Instagram. And they look really nice, and they also are helpful with, again, just pulling in keywords and helping with that search. So we have a post tool that you can upload new posts, or we also have a social media connector that allows you to connect your Facebook and Instagram accounts and then pull in those posts from those platforms to then edit and push out to Google. So really, this is just a huge time saver. You don't have to recreate the content wheel. A lot of the time people ask like, how much should I be posting? Or, this could be time consuming if you don't have a lot of extra time, especially if you're a business owner or a tour operator and you're actually out doing things and not just managing your digital marketing. And the nice thing is, like the photo tool, we also have a post scheduler. So you can actually post and schedule posts out in advance. So spending, 10, 15 minutes once a month, twice a month, and just uploading new post content or going in and republishing your posts that are pulled from the social media platforms can be really helpful. And again, a huge time saver. So you don't have to worry about it on an ongoing basis. So basically, when a new post from either Instagram or Facebook is pulled in, it will show the source as that platform. So you'll see like a little camera for Instagram and the little F for Facebook. This user is really, really good about posting out and using that content that's being pulled in from his accounts. So the nice thing is you'll see the source is local because he's already gone through and edited the post and scheduled them out to be published in advance. But there's several in here and we could go through for a while. But again, don't feel like you need to post every single day. You can if you want. You can also schedule posts to be posted every day or recur. So that way they post on their own, once a week or once every few weeks. But, if you're in here and you're creating posts to be posted once, twice a week, you'll be in good shape. So this is just another way, again, to help optimize that listing. And then additionally, in order to connect to your Facebook and Instagram accounts, if you go in, to connected accounts in your manage location section and scroll down, you'll see that you can connect Facebook and Instagram. And that will basically prompt you to just, answer a couple of questions for that connection process. And then that will start pulling things in. So additionally, I talked about reviews and engaging with reviews on your maps listing. We have a reputation section where you can keep track and manage all of your Google reviews. So reviews are a huge search ranking factor. Google really likes to see engagement and activity on a listing, especially when it comes to reviews, because not only are you showing that you're a legitimate business, if you have reviews, but additionally, if you're engaging with them and responding to them in a timely manner, they're seeing that you are like an active and live business who is, responsive to their customers. So you can reply directly from this dashboard here. We show these in chronological order per location. So if you have multiple locations, you can actually see all of the reviews from all of those locations pulled into this one place instead of having to toggle between your Google business profile accounts to answer them there. So that's really helpful. You can also toggle by star rating, which is nice, and you can see which ones you haven't replied to or that you have replied to. We also show keyword insights, which is really helpful to see how people are talking about you. And again, just taking these keywords under advisement when you're responding, because if you're using the keywords that people are also using, it's just going to increase your search or searchability factor. We've also created a quick reply template here to save you time. So you can, use these templates, and basically when you're replying, it will give you an option to pick which ones. I always recommend making them more personal. Google doesn't want to see like a robot responding, and not that that's what this is, but just making your reviews more personalized is going to make the customer feel good in general. So I would just recommend, if you're using quick replies, to also edit it with that person's name, or add another little sentiment in there as well. I do get questions about replying to reviews, both positive and negative. So I would always respond to all of them if you can, or if there's somebody on your team that does it, make sure that they're staying up to date with it. The negative reviews I know are a little bit trickier, but they're still important because you're acknowledging the issue. So I wouldn't make it lengthy. I would try to take the conversation offline as quickly as possible, but simply saying something like, thank you so much, and we apologize for the inconvenience or whatever the situation is. Please reach out to us at, info at blah, 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 because we'd love to connect and make this right. Or get more information. Whatever the message is, you want to make sure that you're, providing a contact address, and then again, taking it offline, but you're still acknowledging it in Google reviews. Additionally, I know a lot of business owners specifically get a little weird or unsure about soliciting reviews. Something I always like to recommend to our customers is you can actually take the custom review link, which you can actually copy right from Locl here. When you click on this, it's going to be copied to your clipboard, and you can actually paste it as a hyperlink, and that will take you directly, or take somebody directly to your Google Maps listing, and it will populate the review box. So they don't have to go searching for it. So if you include this link in, if you have like a newsletter or a follow-up email after somebody takes your tours, you can actually, just put that link in there and say, like, we'd really appreciate a review if you had fun, like this will help us out, yada, yada, yada. So again, messaging, you can figure that part out. But I do recommend trying to get as many reviews on an ongoing basis as possible, just because, again, it is a huge search ranking factor in Google. So once you spend time in here, it's not just like a one and done, but regularly making these updates that we just went over, you'll see all of the effects of your optimization efforts in the Locl dashboard, the analytics dashboard. Whoops. So this is your analytics dashboard. This is basically going to show you your maps traffic that we talked about earlier from your maps listing. So again, you can see 18 plus months worth of data in here. You can customize the date range. So you can look at, year over year, you can look at the last 6 months. Let's say that you're running a special promotion for the week of, April 1st. You can go in here and you can actually get really, really specific with the dates. So you want to look from like the 1st to the 8th, you can look at that information. And then this is going to show you things like how many direction requests you've gotten in that time period, your calculated revenue, which when you sign up for Locl, you can actually input your average transaction value. And then we formulate this through that number combined with the maps traffic or the direction requests. So we have a formula here, and it's a conservative amount in most industries. We take 80% of what that is. But this is helpful too, and usually lines up pretty well with what you're actually seeing in revenue in real life. You can see your top search terms. So thinking about this to help with keywords and populating keywords into things like your business description and your Google posts, you can see how people are actually searching for you. You might have noticed before, you can connect your Google Analytics account. And if you click on that separate maps traffic button that I showed you at the start, then you'll actually be able to start seeing your top traffic sources inside of your analytics dashboard here. As well as things like your maps views and your search views on desktop and mobile, as well as zip code. So a lot of really great data. And then in addition, we'll also show you exactly what to do and when to do it in this personalized to-do list. So in this overview section here, you'll see that there are, it's been however many days since your last post was created, however many days since your last photos were uploaded. We show you your time saved from all time and also this month, and then a list of completed tasks over here. So we click all time. You can see anytime something was done. Not everybody likes to-do lists or likes to check things off of a to-do list, but this is here to help you. You'll also get notifications in your email as well, and you can opt into web notifications or browser notifications if you want to be alerted to, whenever you have a new review or a negative review that you should be responding to pretty quickly. So we just try again to make this really user-friendly, give you helpful hints along the way. So you know what to do and when to do it. And it basically just takes the guesswork out of Google and the other platforms. So the only other thing I wanted to mention is I know that I had talked about the plus reach directories and pushing out to other listings as well. So if you opt in, you're going to see all of these logos in color, and it will show you where those basic business updates are going. Again, you don't have to do anything with this. This will just be here if you opt into it. And anytime you make that update, let's say to your business hours, you click update, it will push to these other platforms, assuming they have identical fields. So not every single platform has, a field for like a business description or something, but the basic information like a phone number or your business name, you want that to be lined up on all of the platforms, because Google crawls all of these other directories as well. And so you just want to make sure that, again, you have an accurate and up-to-date and consistent listing across the board. I think that is it in terms of the demo at this point. So I'll turn it back over to Cecilia. And if there are any questions, I think we have plenty of time to take those.
Thank you, Alexa. This is actually a good timed question. We had a question specific to the Plus Reach. So for platforms like Uber, Lyft, etc., do we need to create a profile for those before the updates can be pushed? Like, do we have to claim anything, or is it just all automatic? Like, set it and forget it?
That is a really great question, which I need to double check, because I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure I'm absolutely sure about this before I answer to many of you here. So if it's okay, Cecilia, I'd love to follow back up with you to have either you or myself send it to whomever is asking, just because I don't want to steer anybody wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes I know all of the answers when we have these Q&As, and then other times I'm like, oh, maybe I should just double check on that, because I have way too much information swirling around in my brain.
And I know there's a lot there, right? I mean, like, the local platform is amazing. Travel Oregon actually uses it to manage our Welcome Center listings.
Mm-hmm.
I think we use it a little bit differently than other businesses, that actually have offerings and products. I mean, we aren't selling anything, but my goodness, we can, make posts when our our visitor guide, comes out, that kind of thing, and replying to reviews and all of that good stuff. So that was literally our only attendee question. If anyone else has questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A box. And then I also wanted to let everyone know, if you're not already signed up on Travel Oregon's industry e-news, that could be a good newsletter to sign up for, so that you're informed of other training opportunities we have, other resources. It's not just about listings, but what's happening in the Oregon tourism industry. I see we have another question. Alexa, what do you do if you can't find a category that feels right for your particular business? Which, before I let you answer this, I'm pretty sure Google has thousands of types. Some are very, very specific. So yeah, what advice do you have for finding the correct?
Yeah, so it is tricky, because you do have to search. You can't just scroll through like an entire list of categories. But I would say that if you can't get specific, try to just branch out like a little bit to things that maybe are adjacent to what you do or the kind of business you are. I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head. If you are like if you do like fishing tours and you can't find something specific for fishing, then like tour company or tour operator, or even if there's some sort of like market, or you sell a certain good that is associated with your business, even maybe like using that as the category. So there's like a very generic like shop category that you could use. Yeah, it might take a little bit of playing around, but I would say something adjacent or close to what you do is probably best. But then with that, I would say that then having your business description and also like photos and stuff up to date that's going to be important. So you can actually show exactly who you are and what you're doing. Hopefully that helps.
And I can also add to that, I forget the source of this online, but if you Google, I'm not sure if it's attributes or categories. There are a number of companies that will publish the current list of, let's say it's 9,328. And then maybe, keyword searching to try and find similar category options. We did get another question related to review syncing. And let's see, is there a way to sync reviews across platforms? So if someone leaves a Google review, it shows up on Expedia, I have not heard of that.
Yeah, that's a great question and a great idea that I wish existed. As far as I know, that is not possible right now. Google reviews only show up on Google, especially because, you have other people like Yelp and even Facebook, et cetera, that have their own review system. So sadly, again, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, and also Cecilia could be wrong, but we haven't heard of anything that will sync all of the reviews across the board. Maybe one day.
I will say, from something I learn and consistently relearn with Google, is working with Google the best we can is good for business, but also Google's going to make changes whenever they would like to make changes. So for example, a Google business profile, previously known as Google My Business, how you make the updates if you're working with Google directly, that interface has completely changed in the last year. Okay, more questions. Can you establish a point on the Google Business Profile map where you provide a guide service if your business is not physically located in that area?
So when you set up a business listing, and I believe you can also edit this as well inside of your Google Business account, you can choose to be a service area business instead of a physical business. They're going to ask still for a physical address, because that's how they just verify that you're a real person. But you can opt to just display a service area business. And then when you do choose that, you can pick areas within where your business is located that you serve. So let's say that you are in the Bend region. You can do you can pick Bend, Oregon, you can pick Redmond, you can pick Prineville, and you can pick a certain, I don't remember if it's a certain amount of locations or what that limit is, but you can pick a handful of areas that you serve without having that address. So there's a lot of people that use Locl that are they don't have a brick and mortar. So you just have to make sure that your account through Google is set up that way first. You can't switch it, unfortunately, inside of Locl at this point, but that's not to say you won't be able to at some point. We're always modifying our features. And that often is based on what Google allows us to do. But that being said, yes, it's an option. I will say that I recommend only including service areas within a 2-hour radius. Google likes to start flagging profiles that have service area locations outside of that 2 hours from where the actual address that you put in is. And we've seen, and I haven't seen this in a while, but in the past, I've seen them flag and suspend businesses for having those areas outside of that 2-hour radius. So just keep that in mind. It likely won't be an issue for you, but when you are setting it up, just pick places that are nearby-ish, even if you serve, California as well. If you do that, then that's a different conversation.
And then Alexa, I think I actually noticed it in the account you were using to demo that they have cities within their description. So yeah, just adding specific.
Yeah, in your business description, that's really helpful. Again, when you're thinking about your business description, it really is a great place to highlight the things that aren't necessarily able to be highlighted anywhere else on your listing. Obviously with Google Posts, you can create information about whatever, or include information about whatever, but in terms of it living on your listing permanently, I would say yes, adding like the cities that you service or the areas that you service in there will also help, especially as people are searching, tour in Bend. And if Bend is in your business description, it's just going to help with that.
Great. And I know we're talking a lot about Google Business Profile because you need to be claimed and verified before you can sign up with Locl and connect your accounts. We do have one-on-one support for any businesses that are having any trouble or experiencing unique issues with claiming or verifying, or if you have a situation where maybe you have duplicate profiles and you're looking to merge or delete one, I'll include information in the follow-up email. You can actually schedule one-on-one support with another partner of ours, Miles Partnership, and it's completely free, and they can help you get your profile sorted if it needs sorting before you can take the step to get to Locl, which we love. We think it's easier, it's time saver, and it has so many more features than Google Business right now. So that was our last question. So Alexa, thank you as always for your time. Thank you everyone for attending today, and expect that email to come soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Cecilia.
Have a great day.
Bye.